My experience is what allowed me to maybe think a little bit differently, to change my philosophy on what health and wellness can be. And because of this experience, now I realize that the gut and the brain communicate and are really powerful entities separately. But what a lot of people don't know is that embryologically, the gut and the brain are connected, okay, by the nervous system. Can't heal and fix and take care of one without the other. So if I have a patient that comes in with debilitating depression or anxiety or panic attacks or some sort of mental health issue, I'm asking, how many bowel movements are you having a day or a week? What are you eating? Have you been diagnosed with some form of inflammatory bowel disease or IBS? Because that's really important. And same thing with a patient that comes in with digestion issues. I'm going to ask about the function of the brain. What's your cognition like? This is exactly the perfect example of what a brain on fire means. And when you have inflammation in the brain, which can be lending to anxiety and depression. It's like when you think of, you see an object, you're like, oh, it's a box, it's cold, you put food in it. What is that? Oh, it's a refrigerator. When that's becoming chronic and when that's becoming an issue, that's when you got to really figure out, okay, we have to figure out what's causing the inflammation in the brain. And so the gut-brain axis is connected and communicating through this line called the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is really an integral role in the gut-brain axis because it's an express highway. This express highway, there's no merging, there's no exits. It goes directly from the gut to the brain. And it's activated and stimulated by things like meditation, mindfulness, prayer, deep breathing, things that we're told to do because it helps calm that. For me, I navigate everything through the gut pretty much. I know that the gut is pretty much the cornerstone of our health. It's connected to hormones, the stress response, and brain health, and all these different things that we hear about. And it all started when we were created, way back when almost every birth was through the vaginal canal. We got exposed to this really great, healthy, invisible ecosystem from our mother called bacterial microbiota. And this microbiota allows us to have our own set of our natural bugs that help with creating neurotransmitters, breaking down our food, producing vitamins and minerals and things like that. Supporting this healthy gut is essential to having a healthy brain. It's all about having a healthy stress response. It's all about having a great, healthy, uninflamed GI system in order to support what's happening up in the gut, to help support these emotions and these feelings that we're experiencing. It's really important to know that these bacteria that we have in our gut are on our side. They want us to be happy. So when we have a brain on fire, what is that? It's inflammation. When we have gas and bloating and digestive issues, what is that? It's a form of inflammation. So inflammation is an ambiguous word. A lot of people may not really know what it means. It doesn't always show up as a swollen knee, an achy back, or gas and bloating. Inflammation in the brain is going to be like that difficulty coming up with a word. Anxiety, fatigue, scattered brain, and recognizing what's triggering that inflammation is essential for figuring out how to fix the patient. A lot of times we talk about and we blame genetics. Oh, my mom has diabetes. Oh, my mom has depression, whatever. It really only accounts for 15 to 20% of these cases. Halfway up the triangle, two other factors to consider when we're dealing with inflammation. What's going on in the digestive system? And is there an environmental toxin or allergen that you're exposed to? So for digestion, it might be a food allergy. It could be microbial infections. And then also an increase in your intestinal permeability or leaky gut. And then environmental factors, toxins, chemicals, heavy metals, viruses, and mold. If we have patients with either system impaired, we gotta go down to, have you been exposed? Can we trace it back? I had a patient that came in not too long ago, severely depressed, everything was a chore, wasn't happy in anything in his life. And we were able to trace it back to, he was exposed to mold. right? The moment he was exposed to mold, he started experiencing these symptoms. So really figuring out environmentally what's going on. And then you can see in the middle that some kind of stress, whether it's physical or psychological or emotional, some stress has to flip that switch. And it's going to impair either the gut, the brain, or the immune system, which controls the levels of inflammation. I do a lot of advanced lab testing to figure out what the why is, to look for a hidden pathogen. I want to know what's flipping that switch, what's triggering this body to respond. If this is not eradicated, we don't take care of this, then this inflammation, these signs of inflammation are just always going to be there.